Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Let us look at test suite for the Unit 5 and Spring Boot. So this project right here is a default Spring Boot project. So I've created this project by choosing File. In IntelliJ, I choose File, New Project like this. I chose Maven, I chose Jar, I gave it a good name, and then I ticked off Lombok. I chose the Spring Web. I added the JPA so we could get some database access, and then I added H2 for just to get a memory database. Then I pressed create, and then I ended up with this project right here. Then I've added one dependency right here. This is because we want to play with test suites today. So you have, of course, a lot of tests in your code because that is how you check whether your code works or not. It's also how you actually add some consistency and actually, yeah, you actually help your co-workers and your other developers to actually feel safe when they are changing your code because you have some cool tests that will show if they broke something in your code when they were trying to fix a bug or add a new feature. So, of course, so we have this dependency right here. You do not have to give it any version. Spring Boot will give it a version automatically, so don't do that. But of course, we have to have some code that we can test first. And let us just create. So here we will create a spaceship, new package right here. Space, and here we will create a spaceship, new spaceship like this. Yes, yes, yes. Add data like this, and then we'll say this is also an entity, a database entity, and here we'll have add ID, and we'll have and this is a generated value, and this is the long private long ID like this, and we have a private string, and then we have a name type model. This is the spaceship model, and we have a fuel percentage, fuel left like this. And that is actually it regarding our spaceship just for this situation right here. The other thing that we can do is now we could actually create a captain. So we have a captain right here, or crew. Let's make some crew members instead. And again, we say entity, data. We could also have all as constructor, no as constructor. We should actually also do that for a spaceship right here. Right here. All as constructor. Here we have the crew members, and again, we want an ID. We use a generated value, and if I don't give any strategy right here, then the strategy is per default, just so you know, generated value. If I don't use any strategy right here, then the default is auto right here. So this is the same as not giving any strategy at all. This means that Hibernate and JP will actually choose your strategy for you. Okay, so and here we have the long ID, and again private long ID, and we have a private string name of the crew, and maybe we have some skill also be along. Again, we could use the objects if we want to. It doesn't matter. We have the auto boxing in Java, which will automatically convert the primitive to the objects and vice versa. So here we have the skill level. So that is a crew level. We had some skill level. That's just what we want to add right here. So we have names, skill level, and that's actually it. So name, skill level, ID. That's fine. Okay. So now we have two entities right here, and of course, then we would also like to create some services. So I'll create a new service. We'll say this is a spaceship service that we have right here, and here we can annotate this with service. And here, this could have a method that says like create new one, spaceship, create default. So this could be our default spaceship when it comes from the factory. Then our spaceship looks like this, new spaceship, and the ID should be null, so the database will give that to us at some point. The model could be Falcon like this, and fuel left it will be it will only have 10% fuel when it's created from the factory. So, and the same with the crew. We could also create these crew members. Those could be clones actually. So we will have this crew service right here. And again, we say space. Here we say add service again, add service. And we say the crew service here again, we say public crew like this. And then we say create default or clone defaults. And then here we create a new clone and then we say return new crew member right here. And again, null as ID. Name could just be John. So until we can name them, of course, afterwards. And this start at a scale of 1. So this is a default. This is a default 1. And because we did not, the ID should, of course, be the object type. So now we have now because then it can be null. That's why it should not be a primitive. So if you're in any doubt, then always use the object type. Do not use the primitive. So now the error is gone, and this is a long, so we have to write L after it, like this. And the same thing with the fuel left, 10% left. And now we would like to create some tests. So how do we do that? First of all, you just place yourself in the end of your service and the end of your code, and then you press Alt Insert, and then you can say create test. Okay, that sounds easy. Yes, it definitely is. So now we have created a test already. So and this test right here, we have already annotated. We wanted this to be a Spring Boot test because then we have the whole Spring context also. It means that then we can auto wire or the spaceship service right here, service. And now I can actually use my service, and then I can say create defaults like this, and then I can assert something with my default spaceship assertions. Assert equals, and then we can say that we want maybe it's 10%, and then we say a default that gets fuel left. So now we assert that the new spaceship has 10% left. So that was one test. Now we want to create another test that is for the crew service. Alt insert again, create a test, and tick off the methods that we want to test. Create default, yes. Add to git, yes. Why not? Spring Boot test. Add that right down. And auto-wired. Remember, the only place you can use auto-wired is in the test. You cannot use it in the real code because then your real code will not be testable. Crew service like this. And again, yeah, cruise, we will just name it crew service. And here we'll say crew service that's create defaults. And here we have some crews, set equals. And here we can say that we say the default crew member gets name or get skill level. And we know that should always be 1 to begin with, so we assert that is true. And of course, we run a test to see that it actually works. And while we're waiting for that to run, then we'll add a tag right here. So this is a tag that has something to do with crew members. And then we have another. Here we have another tag. This could be space. We could also say that all of these are services, so maybe it's the service layer. So we're going to have multiple tags if you annotate with tags like this, and we can have multiple tags. And say space, comma, also service like this. And of course, we could do the same with our group service. So you can actually already see, you probably can see now what I'm doing. I'm actually grouping up. I'm grouping up the tests, and of course, we could have created Maven profiles, and then we could have said that one Maven profile should only run tags of the type service, for instance, or crew. That is totally possible. I'll make another video where I show that. But the cool thing about these suites right here, because now I'm going to create a suite, so I'll create a new suite right here, and we can call this service suite, and we'll annotate this with. I'm hitting the wrong buttons a lot today. So we say suite like this. Look, this class right here, this annotation right here. this would not be available if you did not add that. If we did not add that dependency right here. If you don't have this platform suite, JUnit platform suite, then you will not be able to annotate this with suite like this. And you don't add anything inside your suite, but you can actually say something like include something, right? So you can see all of these that comes from the platform suite or from that package. That is because you want to include something. So here we can actually include class name patterns. Okay, so this means we can actually use wildcards, and we can say that we want to have include all classes that ends with service. If that's what we want to do, we can say that we want these packages. We only want these packages right here. We can also say that we want some specific engines. I've actually never used that. I must admit that. We can say we want to include some tags. This is exactly what we're going to do today. So here I want to say that this is my service suite. So here I have a service suite. Let us just see if it works. So we will press play. And what happened now? No test discovered. Okay. Then we will say something with what is it now? That is the packages. Include packages right here. And again, this is let us say that we want to include this package that we actually have right here. So we have to include that one. Let us say that we include this. So now we include some packages also, because it's not enough to include these tags right here. Let us press play again. So again, this is not good. So what is it that we're missing? No test discovered. Did not discover any tests. Test suite, service suite. It could not find these tags right here. Why could it not find those tags? That is a good question. We actually need to select packages. So now we're actually selecting packages. I don't know. I've never. Okay. So okay. I'm actually usually I have this select packages enabled, and then on top of that we also have the test. So now we have creative. So now we have the crew service, and we also have the spaceship service right there. Let us say that we just want the crews. Let us just say if that's possible. Now we only have the crew service right here. Can you see that? So this means that now I can actually create my suites. So now I will say I have a crew suite. This is will run all of my tests regarding the crew, and of course the service suite will just change that again to service. And again, we can then change this to space, something like with spaceship or spaceship suite right there. And then this should include the tag spaceship, and of course now I'm going to change the test tag also to spaceship like this. And that means that now we could also create some more packages actually. Crew. Here we have one with the crew, so we will just put all of our stuff with the crew in there. Refactored, yes. And we'll do the same with the spaceship. So here we have the ship package. So this is a nice way actually to use. Usually you would actually have your test in the same package as your code, but you can refactor it like I did right here. So here we have the service suite. This will actually this will run all of our tests, which are services, both this both the crew and the spaceship ones. So let us run that right now. And yes, 2 tests passed. So here we have the crew service test, and we have the spaceship service test right there. And then we have the spaceship suite right there. Let's see if that one work. We need to say that we want to select the package right here, spaceship. I think the select can actually what else? There's actually classes right here. Files, resources, directories. Just for fun, let's try to use wildcards right here. So we'll actually say, okay, we will actually keep it for as spaceship right here. Let's just see that this one works. So here we have the spaceship. Yes, it works. It only runs a spaceship. Now let us try to use wildcards instead of having all of these packages right here. Duplicate our comments. And then we say I use control / to our comment. Just oh. Here now let us use wildcard instead, and let us see what actually happens now. No, it does not work. We have to mention the packages when we do it like that. I know with the classes you can actually. What if we have the include packages? What if we choose that instead? Is that possible with wildcards? Let us see. No, it does not work. So we have to select the packages right here. You can read up on documentation on if you just search for JUnit 5, and you will see it's 5 because it is. What is it actually for? Let us just check right here. JUnit. Because usually when it's 5, then you would have the Jupiter. Because Jupiter is the 5th planet in the solar system. So then you would have the Jupiter up in the. You would have that in the package name actually. Okay. But we still have the suites right here, and it's quite cool because you can just press play. I prefer actually suites than I do actually choosing Maven and then and enabling the right profile, then running tests. I think this is much easier actually just to have a suite that actually matches all of the crew tests. I know that right now we only have one test, of course, but maybe let's just for fun, we will just say that this is a crew name. Crew service test, crew service, and then test the name. So we want to test the name inside this test right here. So that means that we will search get name instead. And here we'll say John Doe, like this. And again, now when we run the crew, the suite right here, then we can just press play right here. It's just so nice. It's just so easy with the tooling. So that's why I like the suite actually, and I can just press play right there. And you can see here with the crew, now I get the crew name test, and I have and I have these names right here. Another thing is that you should always, of course, add a description or a name. Description. It's not description. What is it? It is a display name. That was the one I wanted. Here we can say test, try, make sure that skill level is 1 to begin with, like this. So then you have a nice display name instead. It looks much better. Service, and then we have the name right there. Make sure that the name is John Doe to begin with. You will try to see now when we run this crew service right here, the crew suite right here. Let us see now how that looks. Now it looks much cooler. Look at these names out here. So now it actually writes that display name instead of just writing create default, which is a method name. So always add a display name. Always it makes your test much more readable. Is something called description also? No. I think that is description is probably in another test framework. Yeah. So that's actually it. This is what I wanted to show you. That you can have different suites that then contains different tests. I want to show a lot about how to create these tests so they actually make sense. So I'm making more videos. I want to keep them as short as possible. So this was test suite. Let me know what you think, and feel free as usual to ask questions. Thank you very much for watching, and I will upload the code to my GitHub account as usual, where you can just find and clone the code if you want to try it out yourself. Have a great evening, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye bye.